Hello, I'm Dr. Craig Liden, the CEO of Obsevera and the creator of the FACES test that Obsevera is developing to assist in the diagnosis and treatment of attention deficit disorder, or ADD. ADD is an extremely common problem that affects 8 to 10% of the population and is a leading health concern because it can oftentimes lead to problems such as obesity, substance abuse, and college failure. Sometimes ADD is overdiagnosed. Sometimes it's misdiagnosed, but most commonly it's underdiagnosed because professionals lack objective tools to reliably assess an individual's attention status. Furthermore, parents and adults fear the medications that are used to treat ADD without feeling that they have a reliable diagnosis or an objective means to track the efficacy of the medication. The FACES test is an online version of a visual problem-solving task that employs a distinctive feature analysis methodology that I created more than 25 years ago. It assesses an individual's attention status and executive functioning and allows for determining an individual's at-risk status and the efficacy of treatments used to manage ADD from children ages 5 up to adults to 95. FACES can be self-administered or facilitated by a trained examiner using a tablet or a touchscreen computer. It takes approximately 10 minutes to complete and generates an easy-to-use written report along with a more sophisticated professional report that can be shared with doctors and other professionals. An existing paper version of the FACES test has been used in more than 10,000 patients over the last 30 years to assist in diagnostic accuracy and treatment efficacy in a clinical practice here in Pittsburgh. FACES will be available in both a professional and a consumer version. Consumers will be able to purchase individual tests or groups of tests at $15 per test that will allow them to assess their attention throughout the day or on or off medication. Professionals will be able to purchase bundles of FACES tests through licensing agreements and incorporate them into various diagnostic and treatment protocols they may have to manage attention deficit disorder, and then will be reimbursed by patients directly or through the patient's insurance plan. The initial market for FACES will be overweight adults. That's over 100 million people domestically and 2.5 billion worldwide, who may be members of the greater than 30% of the obese population who we now know have ADD as a possible root cause for their problems. The FACES ADD screener will help these individuals determine if they are at risk for ADD and whether or not they warrant undergoing a much more comprehensive evaluation and development of a treatment plan to manage this treatable contributor to overweight and obesity. Secondary markets for application of FACES ADD screener will be parents of children and adults who suspect ADD and specific populations that are at greater risk for attention deficit disorder, such as students struggling at college. We know that individuals with ADD have less than a 25% chance of graduating from college within 6 years, or individuals with chronic constipation. We now know that greater than 40% of individuals with ADD suffer from this chronic bowel problem, or individuals with substance use problems, where research shows us that greater than 80% of those individuals have undiagnosed, untreated ADD at the core of their difficulties. Subsequent target markets will include adults and parents of children who are among the 8 million people in the U.S. diagnosed with ADD and are currently struggling to achieve efficacy with medication treatment. The FACES medication tracker will help them determine if the medication they are taking is in the therapeutic zone. Finally, with selective enhancements and accompanying clinical protocols that we've developed over the past 25 years, the professional version of the FACES will be offered as a standalone diagnostic and treatment aid for attention deficit disorder. The business case for ADD is eye-popping. Imagine that just a half of 1% or 1% of those individuals who are at risk for ADD took the FACES test. That translates into $7 to $35 million for one single test. Imagine that those same individuals took 2, 3, 4 FACES tests to monitor their attention throughout the waking day, or to assess their attention on differing doses of the medication at different times of the day, or different medications, or track their progress over the course of months given a variety of different treatments. The numbers quickly become astounding. Currently, Obsevera is seeking funding to assist us to, number one, make refinements to our existing prototype, utilizing features of the tablet as well as other existing technology to assess the ambient conditions where individuals are taking the test, and to track an individual's emotional reactivity during the course of participating in the test. Number two, to get funding to help us and our research partners at Carnegie Mellon University to design, execute, and publish normative, validation, and reliability studies that will ultimately help us achieve FDA approval for the FACES as an assistive technology device. And finally, to use the funds to assist us in refining our marketing plan and to launch the product into the target markets that I mentioned earlier. I hope you consider investing in FACES, which could not only be a financially rewarding step, but given the scope and the impact of ADD worldwide, assist us in changing the world. Thank you for your interest.